Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I wanted to continue with my recounting, sir, of Nick Smith's appearance at the Select Committee, who came along and he was asked how this bill would result in an improvement in housing affordability. Given that it only allows for an increase in the supply, an immediate increase in the supply of greenfields land, and some fast-track consenting. And it was pointed out to him that, given the state of the Auckland property market, it's very likely that, given the strong market incentives that there are for builders to build expensive houses, for instance, that are being sold for $700,000, $800,000 and more in Auckland. And bear in mind, Mr. Chairman, that only 5% of houses that are currently being built are in the affordable range. And Mr. Smith came along to the Select Committee, and when this was pointed out to him, he agreed that, yes, it's quite possible that this bill would result in expensive houses being built. And when he was asked how this would help the stated objectives of the bill, his explanation was that, well, if builders build expensive houses, as they may well do, then someone's going to buy those expensive houses. And when they buy those expensive houses, they will move out of their existing houses, thereby freeing up some houses. We don't know how expensive the houses that they were living in before were. But this is, as my colleague Jacinda Ardern pointed out, pure trickle-down housing economics. And what we will go on to debate, sir, in this committee stage is that there is nothing in this bill that provides any assurance, and I will quote Auckland Council's own public statements to the Minister about this. There is nothing in this bill that will guarantee the building of any more affordable housing. Now, the Property Council came along, the Salvation Army came along, Todd Property, Tauranga City Council, Auckland Council, and they all told, under direct questioning, they all told the Select Committee that this bill would not necessarily result in any more affordable housing being built. All we have is Nick Smith's fairy tale economics that says that if some more expensive houses are built, somehow that increase in supply, no matter how expensive those houses will be, no matter how intractable the cost drivers of housing are in the Auckland market, no matter how powerful the market incentives are for builders and property developers to build $800,000 houses, somehow this bill, by bringing in a little bit more greenfields land into the system, is going to result in an improvement in housing affordability or affordable housing. It is nonsense, it's a hoax, and unfortunately it fits within the tinkering approach that this minister has made his hallmark in this portfolio. Now, it wouldn't be such a bone of contention that this bill is inadequate in this way if the government had a comprehensive package on housing, sir. But they don't. They do nothing to deal with the problem of speculation in Auckland. They refuse to take the advice of Treasury, of the OECD, of the IMF, of virtually every mainstream economist in this country who says there should be a capital gains tax in order to take the speculative heat out of the housing market. For some reason, they've decided, John Key's made a promise, they're not willing to step away from it. No matter how sound that proposition is, they are not willing to consider a capital gains tax. They are not willing to go along with the 2/3 of New Zealanders who believe that offshore speculators should not be able to buy housing in New Zealand, that New Zealanders should have first crack at buying a house, and that it's unacceptable for real estate agencies to be going to Hong Kong and Singapore and marketing New Zealand residential property as some kind of international bargain basement offer, because there's no capital gains tax, there's no stamp duty, no restrictions on offshore speculators. In fact, the government actively encourages offshore speculators to come into this market and bid up the prices of New Zealand houses and outbid Kiwi first home buyers at auction. They are not willing to build affordable houses. They are not willing to crack down on speculators. They are not willing to comprehensively reform the Resource Management Act to facilitate affordable housing. All we have is this tinkering, inadequate bill that is a short-term measure, and even then, there is no assurance that it will result in any more affordable housing or any better affordability in the housing market. So this bill, sir, is a great disappointment.
I call the Honourable Member Dennis O'Rourke.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.